the first female and the longest-serving British Prime Minister in the 20th century, Margaret Thatcher, the Iron Lady. Margaret Thatcher, 1979 to 1990, often referred to as the Iron Lady. She was a British conservative politician, a stateswoman, a lawyer, a chemist, who served as the first female Prime Minister of the United Kingdom from May 1979 to November 1990, and the leader of the Conservative Party from 1975 to 1990. Thatcher's political career began when she was elected as the Member of Parliament for Finchley in 1959. She served as the Secretary of State for Education and Science in 1970 to 1974 under Edward Heath's government. She quickly rose through the ranks of the Conservative Party, becoming the leader in 1975 and the first woman to lead a major political party in the United Kingdom. In the 1979 general election, Thatcher led the Conservative Party to victory, becoming the first female Prime Minister in British history. Also known as the Iron Lady, Thatcher was a prominent and controversial political figure who left an indelible mark on British and global politics stage. She was the longest-serving British Prime Minister in the 20th century. Her political philosophy and economic policies emphasized greater individual liberty, the privatization of state-owned companies, and reducing the power and influence of trade unions. On British welfare state, she said the British people had completely rejected state socialism and understood that the state has no source of money other than money which people earn themselves. She emphasized that there is no such thing as public money. There is only taxpayers' money. One of Thatcher's key policies was the promotion of free market economic principles and a commitment to reducing the role of the state in the economy. Her government implemented a series of market-oriented reforms, known as Thatcherism, which included privatization of state-owned industries, deregulation, and tax cuts. These policies were aimed at stimulating economic growth, increasing efficiency, and reducing the power of trade unions. Thatcher's foreign policy was marked by a strong anti-communist stance and a close relationship with the United States and its President Ronald Reagan. She played a significant role in the Cold War, supporting Reagan's policies and contributing to the eventual collapse of the Soviet Union. She claimed to hate apartheid, but had no major policy toward its cessation. However, the Iron Lady's leadership style and policies were divisive. Her aggressive approach to economic reforms led to widespread protests and opposition, particularly in working-class communities affected by the decline of traditional industries. She was instrumental in the Falklands War in 1982, in which British forces successfully reclaimed the Falkland Islands from Argentine occupation. This bolstered her popularity but also increased tensions within her government. Thatcher won two more general elections in 1983 and 1987, known as a historic hat trick by the British press in 1987, and served for 11 years. But internal party dissent and public dissatisfaction with some of her policies eventually led to her resignation in November 1990. Her departure marked the end of an era in British politics. Thatcher, also known as the Iron Lady's legacy, is complex. Her impact on British politics and global stage is undeniable, as she reshaped the political landscape during her time in office. Thatcher was one of the few Conservative MPs to support Leo Absa's bill to decriminalize male homosexuality in 1966, which was passed in 1967. But in 1988, her government passed a homophobic legislation known as Section 28. The Local Government Act 1988, which banned local authorities and schools from promoting homosexuality. She voted in favor of David Steele's bill to legalize abortion in 1967, as well as a ban on hair coursing bill in 1970 in the United Kingdom. The Iron Lady supported the retention of capital punishment law in 1969 and voted against the relaxation of divorce laws in 1968. Thatcher reformed local government taxes by replacing domestic rates with the community charge or poll tax, in which the same amount was charged to each adult resident in 1989 and 1990 in both Scotland and England and Wales, respectively. This caused a lot of agitation, leading to the poll tax riot at Trafalgar Square in 1990, where 339 people were arrested and 113 injured. Thatcher supported an active climate protection policy. She was instrumental in the passage of the Environmental Protection Act 1990. The Iron Lady was one of the first Western leaders to respond warmly to reformist Soviet leader Mikhail Gorbachev. She survived an assassination attempt in 1984 Brighton hotel bombing and achieved a political victory against the National Union of Mine Workers in the 1984-85 miners' strike. In 1986, Thatcher oversaw the deregulation of UK financial markets, leading to an economic boom in what came to be known as the Big Bang. Thatcher years were also marked by periods of high unemployment and social unrest, but later she stabilized the economy by bringing inflation down to the lowest in 13 years before her resignation. On feminism, the Iron Lady said, "The feminists hate me, don't they? And I don't blame them, for I hate feminism. It is a poison. I owe nothing to women's liberation." Though a polarizing figure in British politics, Thatcher is nonetheless viewed by historians as one of the greatest prime ministers in British history. John Campbell, a British political writer and a biographer, said this about her. Margaret Thatcher, or the Iron Lady, was not merely the first woman and the longest-serving prime minister of modern times, but the most admired, most hated, most idolized, and most vilified public figure of the second half of the 20th century. Thatcherism came to refer to her policies as well as aspects of her ethical outlook and personal style, including moral absolutism, nationalism, liberal individualism, and an uncompromising approach to achieving political goals. During her tenure throughout the 1980s, Thatcher, or the Iron Lady, was often referred to as the most powerful woman in the world. She was named the most competent prime minister of the past 30 years in July 2011 by Ipsos Mori poll. However, Thatcher's 11-year premiership was marked by both achievements and challenges, such as social unrest, industrial strife, and high unemployment. Margaret Thatcher resigned from the premiership position in November 1990. It was said that she left the Downing Street in tears. Her resignation shocked United States and the USSR leaderships. After her resignation, she wrote her memoir and gave speeches around the world. She died in April 2013 at age of 87 years. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, and comment. Bye.